Welcome to Chik, the podcast where the girl with many titles talks about life, the good and the bad, and everything around it. We're going to sit, chat, share life stories and experiences, from business to relationship. Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of the Chik podcast. Today I'm joined once again with, by, I always get confused by that, is it? I'm joined by, with, okay, I'm joined, anyway, I'm with G. So for those of you that can see it, then yeah, great, hello. And for those of you that can't see it, I'm going to have to, I keep forgetting to try and describe what's going on, because I just assume that people can see what's happening.
That's true.
So yeah, that'll be the task for today. Anyway, so today's just going to be a generic chat. It's Tuesday, and this podcast will be out Wednesday, so we're recording this one a little bit late. And I just thought it'd be nice to also talk about a few trending topics or things that are kind of happening around the world, and just have a general catch up from the last podcast. Because since then, you've met basically all my family, the extended family.
Yeah.
Met Eliza, went for the christening. Baptism, same difference. I know it's not, but mostly. What else have we been doing?
I went to see a play.
We did. We'll cover that later on.
Yeah, the trip to England was good.
Yeah, it was.
It's interesting in some ways.
I'll ask you about that in a second. Right, we'll get started with what we normally do. So start with your challenge of the week, and then in the middle we're going to do how are you really doing, and then at the end we'll finish off with the win of the week. So what's your challenge of this week?
I'd maybe like to get back into the swing of doing some music. So it's just sort of messaging a few people and sort of catching up and trying to get people together and get back into the way of that.
That'd be cool.
So we're in, for those who aren't on video, we're in my wee studio.
Yeah.
You might see some instruments in the background and working on a few things, working on a reggae album. I'm working on a wee rap project too, so maybe the two of those, I've made a wee track with specifically the two separate people in mind, so try to get them together maybe at some point in the next week to work on that.
That'd be cool.
And then I've been given a wee job to do in work, quite a big job that I'm going to try and finish this week too, so
nice.
Yeah, business and pleasure.
That sounds good. Good mix, balance.
Yeah.
What's my challenge of the week? I think it's just getting to the end of this week without overly stressing, because I've noticed just little things keep annoying me or making me spiral. Not spiral, but I just want to enjoy the week, because I do actually have a good week. I've got afternoon tea with my mum and my Irish Nana on Thursday.
Nice. And
then I've got a networking thing with Ellie from Leaning and a few other girls on Friday. So it's a good week, and obviously tomorrow unks and food. So yeah, it's just enjoying the rest of the week. Yeah.
And another musical to look forward to tomorrow.
Oh yeah. Yeah, another musical.
Singing in the Rain.
Yeah. Okay, so to be fair, right, we'll start with that then. So this weekend we went out and we watched Propaganda. Yeah.
Propaganda, yeah.
At the Lyric Theatre, which was really nice. So we went to the Barking Dog first in Belfast City Centre. The food was really nice. So good. What did you get?
I had a sweet potato gnocchi dish.
Oh yeah,
it was really good, really garlicky.
I forgot it was sweet potato actually.
Nice.
Yeah, that was really nice.
Yeah. And
then I got the tapas. So there was pork belly.
And we meat supper.
Chicken wings. And what was it?
All the main animal groups covered.
Yeah. And then you got some chips for the table, Joey. Chunky chips.
They were good though, weren't they?
They were really good. But
what about the drinks?
Oh, right. So I'm actually going to post that today. So there's this trending video that I've got, and I was telling him about it, where it goes, oh, what's your choice of drink? And the woman goes, Negroni, and then it carries on. So basically I was like, as soon as I opened the cocktail menu, I saw Negroni, and I was like, right, I am completely sold, just because of social media. Tried it, and it's honestly one of the worst drinks I've ever tried.
Horrible.
It was horrible.
Absolutely horrible.
But then you were saying it's a bit like a palate cleanser. Like,
Well, it's like an aperitif, really. Like it gets your like you're supposed to get your taste buds going, I think, and get
mm,
you like wet the whistle, as they say.
yeah.
But it was just rank.
Oh, it was so bad. And then I couldn't like have the drink. And actually, so before this weekend, I don't think I've even ever heard of aperitif. And I was just watching From Scratch, and that's set in Italy. And
Mm,
they were talking about the like before you start eating and the ones that you'll have after
yeah.
you've been eating. So that's interesting. But
No, the food was really good though, wasn't
yeah,
it?
the food
It's
was
a
really
nice wee
good.
place.
It was really, really good. And I feel like if I'd have ordered, to be fair, it was a very strong drink as well, and I've not drank in a while, so like that first sip would just burn.
Mm.
But that was fun. And then Propaganda was so good. That was your first musical.
First musical in a theater, yeah. It was really good though. Like I was really
Yeah.
impressed. Like I really expected to hate it. To be honest, the thing that was sort of pinning my hopes on was like there was like a 12-piece band.
Yeah,
So
they
I
were
thought at the
great.
very least the musical would be good, but they were
Yeah.
phenomenal. Like it was like an original musical commissioned by the Lyric Theatre in Belfast, and
Mm.
it was set in like the sort of mid to late 40s, um, and it was like sort of Russians and Germans and smuggling people in and out and getting papers
Yeah.
and all, and like the music was very of that time, but it was phenomenal.
Yeah, it was
And we
so
were
good.
right at the front too, so it was cool to
Yeah.
see the musicians and the conductor and stuff as well.
Yeah.
But it was great. It was just cool to see something like that, like an original piece created here.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was brilliant.
Well, I was even saying like from the choice of what the play could have been, it was the last thing I was expecting because I
Mm,
didn't look anything up before we went. So I knew obviously that it was going to be a musical and there'd be an orchestra. But the last musical I watched was probably like Hamilton. So I don't know what I was expecting, but it just wasn't that. But it was
mm,
so good, and the main woman was really good. I loved the conductor. He was so into
yeah,
it.
it was good. The music was
Yeah, it was
amazing.
class. Yeah. So if I, to be fair, actually, so that's the second time we've been to the Lyric Theatre together, and the second time I've ever been, I'm sure. But yeah, I'm quite enjoying doing something a little bit different.
Yeah, it's nice. Like, it's a nice spot too, and
Yeah,
it's a nice night out.
yeah, it is.
Couple of wee drinks and bit of dinner
Yeah,
and theatre. Like,
yeah. I even walked back into town. It was Halloween weekend, so there were loads of interesting
that
costumes.
was funny.
Yeah, I got the glider for the first time. To be fair, for those of you that like don't live in Belfast, definitely like is a place to visit. There's so much to do and it's so easy to like to get around. But
All right.
I think we've talked about this before in terms of what we like about like here, and I'd said before about food, but it's just like that Saturday was just from start to finish. It wasn't the nicest of days, and
No, it was a
yet,
terrible day
yeah,
weather-wise.
yeah, like it was so gloomy, but overall, it was just such a nice day where you didn't need to do too much,
Mm,
but you still got a lot out of the day. And then Sunday we went to Stormont and had
Stormont.
a walk around there. Like that was just really nice chilled weekend.
Yeah, it was good.
So yeah, definitely worth a visit, worth going to the Lyric Theatre class. Okay, and then you were talking about so yeah, since our last podcast, you met my family. So well, I was all right. So I was the most excited about you meeting Eliza and Linga, obviously,
Hmm.
and I knew that my auntie would be excited to meet you. But this wasn't even just like the slightly extended family. So like I grew up with my auntie and uncle and my two male cousins, who I remember, and then it was me and Linga. So they were kind of the main people that I wanted you to meet, and then obviously like the boys' wives and Heath, my little nephew.
Mm,
But it was just everyone.
at once.
Yeah, at
All at
once. How did you
once.
find that?
I mean, it's always going to be a daunting prospect.
Well, actually, no, let's take it a step back because it's not even just the fact that you met my family at once. We travelled for the first time with my mum and dad.
Hmm.
So,
That was fun.
yeah, so from the beginning, how did you find that?
Well, I forgot my wallet for a start in the car,
Yeah,
so I could sense the grumpiness
but that was
from
only
all
like 30
sides.
seconds
Yeah,
out, so that wasn't too
good
bad.
start. But no, I mean it was fine. I mean it was early, so everyone was kind of tired and stuff, I guess too.
Yeah.
So like the way out was fine, and like I mean you drove the whole thing, which I definitely couldn't have done around those roads, like unfamiliar roads. But um, I mean, like obviously it helps. I've met your mum and dad plenty of times, so
Yeah.
that wasn't really an issue. But it was like the traveling was fine.
Yeah,
But
it was.
I definitely would have lost it if I had had the co-pilots that you had in the back.
Well, it wasn't even for that to start with, because it was fine. In the airport, we were all right. Got out and went to get the car, and then all of a sudden there were all these stipulations that weren't in the
Oh
terms and
yeah,
conditions. So whilst you guys were outside, I was stood arguing with these people for a while because it just annoyed me that I'd printed it like it tells you, print off the terms and conditions, hand them like some stuff over,
mm,
and then all of a sudden they're saying that you need to have X amount on your credit card, you need to have this and that and this,
yeah,
and then because Dad had sent, like, Mum and Dad just moved, so they'd sent off their driving licenses, which Dad didn't bother telling me beforehand.
mm,
So it was only me that could drive, and I didn't
yeah,
mind the drive itself. It was just, like you're saying, having the co-pilots.
yeah, with helpful advice
Yeah, but luckily, like, they fell asleep quite quickly, and they
several
just wake up
times.
to say that they were cold.
Yeah.
Yeah, so how was then the rest of the weekend? Meeting Mlenga, meeting
Like, it was really
Eliza.
good. I mean, like your brother is such a good guy, and
Yeah,
him and Chloe were great, like letting
yeah,
us stay and stuff. And I mean, it was brilliant. It was such a nice weekend. Like it was nice to see a little bit of where you grew up and or
yeah,
all that sort of stuff. So it was cool. And it was obviously really nice meeting Eliza and her wee friend as well.
yeah, Lyra.
Or my new wee friend too.
Yeah, they loved you.
But no, it was good. I mean, it made it easier the fact that there were the kids there too at the
Yeah,
baptism, like the party and stuff.
yeah,
So I could sit and play with them a little bit. And but no, it was cool. I mean, it was nice to meet everybody that you've seen in pictures or heard about, and
yeah,
like put a face to the name and stuff.
yeah.
Um,
Wemba was just excited because you're a Liverpool fan,
yeah,
so he was straight away sold.
yeah, we're talking a bit about that, but we'll not talk too much about that.
Oh,
But
especially
no,
after this
it
weekend.
was good. It was a really good wee trip. Like it was really enjoyable, and
Yeah,
like we had good crack the whole time, really. Um,
yeah, it was good.
and it was nice having Mabel and Delilah for company
Yeah,
too,
yeah,
two
that
wee
was fun.
dogs.
I love those two.
But yeah, it was like it was a daunting prospect, but everybody was so nice that it was fine. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It was good.
Were they what
Um,
you expected?
I guess so, yeah. Because I mean,
Mm,
you've talked about them a lot. Obviously, the two guys, the two cousins you grew up with and stuff. So you've talked
mm.
about them a lot. So, um, but I guess to an extent, people are on their best behavior in situations like that too.
You're saying that, but to be fair, I was expecting Muma to come out with some kind of, I don't know, wisecrack about, like, don't be a bleep word or I'll knock you out. Like, that's the kind of person that Muma normally is.
Mm,
So the fact that he didn't even make any of those jokes,
he
that
must have been scared.
it'd be
Even
so
though he's
funny if
a
he listens to this.
professional
Yeah, a
boxer.
professional boxer. Yeah, I think that's the only thing that I was expecting. Because I always knew that everyone else was going to be, like, really nice. I was just worried that everyone would be, like, trying to flock to you at once. So I was glad you met my auntie, like, the day before or whenever we dropped mum and
Mm,
dad off.
yeah,
So at least she could see you in the flesh, and that was all right.
yeah.
But yeah, I was just worried that it'd be loads of people at once that knew that you were, like, the new shiny toy
Mm.
and would want to be around you. But no,
Maybe he just didn't feel like he needed to say anything.
what, me?
No, your cousin.
Oh, him? Yeah, maybe it's true.
Oh, and your mum's friend was a nice woman too.
Yeah, she was
She seemed like
nice.
really nice.
Yeah.
And the priest and all was nice. So it was a really nice wee service.
Yeah, I suppose it was good because on your end, like, you're not religious, so to be in a religious setting, meeting the whole family, the religious family, like that, also, like, was on my mind. But like you've
Yeah.
said, like, it wasn't like an overly
No, it was
Jesus
good. I mean,
bashing.
I think they're probably very aware that not everybody there has faith.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
I think he definitely tailored it to that. But,
Yeah,
it was funny and lots of funny moments between the priest and Eliza and stuff. So,
yeah,
I mean, it was a really good weekend.
yeah. It was. Yeah, it was nice. Okay, we're getting to near enough about halfway, so I might as well do it here. So, how are you really doing this week?
I'm doing good. I mean, I sort of realized like just sort of recently, like the last few months have really been a bit of a blur because like
Mm,
my mood was so low, like with my uncle not being well and stuff, and starting a new job, and um, just life in general. I
yeah,
sort of feel like I don't know where the time went. And like it seems like yesterday I was driving up to work on my first day.
Yeah.
And now here I am, like 3 months in,
Yeah,
approaching fourth month of
that's
the new
crazy.
job.
Yeah.
Um, so I was really down for, I guess, a few months. But no, I definitely feel a lot better. And I think some of that is my uncle sort of through the treatment and he seems to be doing okay.
Yeah.
And he just talking about it, like we had a good long talk one day about how I was feeling about it all.
That's good.
And it sort of lifts a lot of the weight, as you know, when you do talk about that sort of thing.
Oh, we talked, or you and you?
No,
Oh,
we
okay. I
talked.
thought you were talking about you and Uncle.
Um,
Yeah, we talked. Yeah, that was good.
Like, I mean, me and my uncle talk about everything anyway, and
Yeah.
how he's doing and how I'm doing. But I guess it's different because I don't want to say too much because obviously he's going through his own thing.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
But it was good then that we were able to just have a good long talk about it, and obviously you have a similar experience yourself, so
Yeah, with
you
Dad.
can sort of understand a little bit what I was going through.
Yeah.
Which obviously helped as well. And even then, just like I think I tend to avoid things like when I'm feeling like that, like I would just avoid my phone. And I think it's because like maybe I'm expecting bad news to come through or something.
Yeah.
Just because I've had so much to deal with in that respect in the last load of years.
Yeah.
But just even sort of replying to people I hadn't spoken with in a wee while and stuff helps. And so no, I'm definitely doing a lot better than I was.
That's good.
What about you?
I'm good in general. I feel like, well, I wasn't expecting it's like too much information for some people that don't like to hear about women's bodies. But we had Dr. Umbi on, so you can hear what you hear. But yeah, I wasn't expecting to be on my period, so I just feel like my hormones are everywhere, and I'm saying that I'm laughing. Right? Where did this come from? This is Dad.
Yeah.
Women and hormones.
Teaching us about life.
Yeah, whenever Dad's talking about women, I don't know, he just categorizes us as having too many emotions because of hormones, which is why I'm laughing, but no. I think like the only reason
You can't argue with the truth though.
but we all have hormones and it's different, I know. It's just wild. But yeah, I think I just wasn't expecting, like I was expecting to feel normal and then all of a sudden like it's not, like I'm fine in general and it's not a heavy period. It's like I'm not in like the normal pain that I would be in, but I think there's just that imbalance where
it's just a bit off.
Yeah, like I definitely feel like today's a day I want to watch something and just cry. So that'll probably be my evening shenanigans.
Well, it's match of the day then. Oh, it's Liverpool.
But yeah, other than that, to be fair, like I said, I think I'm a lot better at managing kind of day-to-day lives and stresses, and like I just keep reminding myself a lot of the things that do sometimes get me down, it's stuff to do with the business. And because like there are pressures, obviously I've got to make sure I'm earning enough money to cover what I need to cover, and if I've got plans, to make sure I've got enough for all of that. So I think sometimes I add pressure on myself, and sometimes it's just inevitable. So I just kind of
natural though too, I guess.
Exactly.
Your own business.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to do as much as I can to make sure that I'm doing things my way in a way that makes me happy. And over the last week, I've definitely tried a few different things that have made me feel a bit more like I'm aligned in what I'm doing. So yeah, that's good. And to be fair, always as well, like whenever like I'm going home or you're going home, I always feel slightly down as well. So I'm assuming that's also a part of it. But yeah, otherwise, all good. Okay, so what else is going on in life? Anything interesting with it? Actually, I'm talking about watching. So yesterday, I agreed to watch. What was it?
Scary movie.
And what was it?
It was the recent release of Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
So for those of you that don't know me, I do not like horror movies whatsoever. And you gave me 3 options, and they were what we ended up watching.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yep.
7.
Which I nearly chose.
Which is brilliant. And what was the other one?
Something in like woods, weird stuff happening in.
Oh, Wrong Turn.
There you go. Yeah. So yeah, the only reason I agreed to watching something is just because I thought, do you know what? I'll appease you. I'll be nice to you because that's how much I love you. And Jesus Christ. Like, that just was not nice. And then you turned around and you were like, it's not even scary.
It wasn't scary.
It was gory, it was scary, it was horrible. And then right at the end, when I thought that, okay, it's over, I'm safe.
Spoiler.
And then, well, yeah, spoiler alert, but yeah, whatever. But yeah, I thought I was safe, and basically I was not safe. So that wasn't nice. When I woke up at like 6 o'clock this morning, I couldn't fall back to sleep.
You're safe. It's a movie.
It doesn't matter because all of a sudden I was laid in bed thinking about each murder and how everything happened. Thank God I missed half of it. But yeah, so that's
It
what
was
we watched for
terrible.
Halloween.
It was so predictable. Like even the bit where he's hitting the hole in the wall, and I was like, "Oh, chainsaw's in there," and the chainsaw was in
Yeah,
there.
it's in there.
It was just really predictable and cliche, and like I think a lot of the bits where you looked away and were scared, I laughed. So
Wild. Yeah, so I think it'll be a while before I try another horror movie.
although I watched Event Horizon not so long ago, and that's quite a scary one.
Which one was that?
The spaceship that knows their thoughts.
That's not really scary. That's more like it's more jumpy.
Yeah, kind of a little bit gory too, I guess.
Yeah, but I liked the story. That one had a storyline,
That's
whereas
really
this was
good.
just here's a group of people.
They
You
die
know that they're
in
all gonna die, or most of them are gonna die,
various
and
ways.
just wait and watch each one. Like it just didn't feel like where was the
At least the
story?
black guy didn't die first.
Did he not?
Nope. He was like second or
I
third,
was gonna say
maybe.
he must have been second.
Yeah.
Who went? Oh, first was the woman.
Well, the old
Technically,
lady died,
yeah.
and then the blonde girl died.
Spoiler alerts. Oh yeah, that's true. And the sheriff. Okay, fair enough. So
Yeah,
yeah,
so he was like fourth
yeah.
or fifth even.
But that was just because of
Come a long way.
convenience. That was because of convenience. Because they happened to be away from everyone else. And as soon as he could find the black person,
He was done.
he was done.
Yeah.
So he technically was the first
Cleaver
to
to
go.
the face.
That was horrible when they
Yeah.
showed him after. Because I thought they just cut his neck.
Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't nice. Lots of spoiler alerts here, so
I don't watch it. It was
yeah,
terrible.
it wasn't fun. What else have we been watching?
Kind of looking for something to watch, I guess. Like a new series. Maybe try that series, The Watcher. But the
Yeah,
other
it's
two
supposed to be
movies
good.
are good. Seven's really good. It's just a classic sort of thriller. Morgan Freeman's brilliant in it, and Brad Pitt's really good in it. There was one I was looking for called The Ritual, which I thought would be really scary, and it's so good, but it's not on Netflix anymore.
All I know is if you think it's going to be really scary, there's no way I'm going to agree to this.
Should give it a go.
Really scary. I should
Well,
give it
I
a
don't
go.
know about really scary, but it was really weird and like creepy, I guess is a better word for it.
Well, I did say to you that if I'm going to try more scary movies, then you're going to have no choice but to watch the things that I like to watch, like the really soppy stuff. Because I feel like I filter out a lot of the stuff that I'm really into. So we'd be starting with Love is Blind, something like that, which you do not like the sound of. And actually, that's one of the trending topics I wanted to talk about this week. Because, so I explained this concept to you, and for those of you that haven't watched Love is Blind, we're on season 3, and Netflix are releasing them in like a few episodes, and then they'll leave it a few days and then do another few episodes. And the premise behind it is you have a group of people, so let's say 15 men and 15 women, and they all date each other but through a pod, so they never see each other. And they'll date each other for about 10 days, ask loads of in-depth questions, get to know each other, and then at the end of the 10 days, they decide if they want to get married or not. And then if the dude decide they're going to get married, that's when they first see each other. So they leave it a few days and then they go and like introduce them to each other. They meet for maybe like a few minutes, let's say 15, 20 minutes, and then they go away and they don't see each other again until they're all away somewhere. So let's say like Mexico. And then after they have like a week's holiday away as just the couples and then they all meet as well, they'll then go and live together for a few weeks. And at the end of the 4-week experiment, they then decide if they are getting married. So they either do get married or they don't. And they were just, to me, right, so you don't like the idea because you don't believe love is blind. But I think you're taking it too literally. I think what it's supposed to mean is that some things matter more than looks, and you can meet someone and commit to them and be fully committed without ever seeing them because you love them for who they are, like the personality. That doesn't mean that looks don't matter whatsoever.
Yeah, I think it all matters.
To
I
an
think
extent.
the premise is just daft. At the end of the day, too, it's also entertainment.
Yeah,
So
it is.
regardless of what it's presented as, it's a show to entertain people. they can say, that maybe their intentions are genuine to match people and create lasting relationships built on two people connecting on stuff that's not just surface level.
Yeah.
But it doesn't work.
You're saying it doesn't work, but
It doesn't
there
work.
have
The
been some
numbers don't lie.
successful. There have been some people that have been successful and have stayed married. I know the second series didn't go down too well. There've been a few divorces, but from the first one, especially Lauren and Cam, I think it's Lauren, yeah, and Cam, interracial couple. Woo. But they were absolutely amazing. I actually need to show you what they
So
look like.
one.
No, but they're the ones I'm picking out because that is your typical, like, it's such a great story. Like, no one expected her to come back with a white guy, and she'd said that she was worried because her family might not accept him. He wasn't really bothered about like race or anything, but again, he knew pretty much straight away, and it's just worked really well. They're the ones that stand out because it looks like such a pure love, and they went into the experiment
And how
for
do
what
they
it's
both
supposed
look?
to be. They are both good looking. But they'll pick.
So if one of them really didn't look the way the other person maybe wanted or would find attractive, would they have got together still?
Right, so this is part of my issue with this latest series and the fact that, right, so there are three men that are complete red flags. One of them's called Bartiz, and he's one where basically the woman he chose to marry, like he cut someone else off whilst they were in the pods. And the one he's chosen to marry physically isn't at the top of like his list, but emotionally he chose her because of the emotional connection. But now they're in the real world, she's now like, well, what the hell? Because originally you did say that you were attracted to me, but he's also like 25 and she's 31, so I think there's a mismatch there. And then the other two that are red flags, I think his name's Matt, and this guy was with someone for like 10 years, was married and got divorced, and has picked this girl that's like, I think he must be maybe in his 30s. This girl's about 25, and she just seems like she just wants someone to choose her. So she got rejected by two people in the pods, and then all of a sudden he started like, I think one of the other guys, when they all met, had said that she was really good looking, and she wasn't being like disrespectful to him, but she was basically being like, "Oh, well, someone's saying I'm good looking, and we did talk in the pods. Thanks." Then the other guy was like, "I can't believe you did that. It's over." And there were just things happening there where you're like, if this is how you're acting right at the beginning, then like this isn't going to work well.
Yeah.
And then from the first one that I was talking about with Bartiz, the girl's Mexican. So one of the guys she was talking to, I think he was called Andrew, and he proposed to this girl as well. She said no because she wanted Bartiz. And he went to do like an interview like this and asked the producers, "Oh, can I just take a break?"
Oh, yeah.
And gets out eye drops to make himself look like he's crying. But when I watch that,
Ridiculous.
what freaks me out is what maybe other women are seeing in like young girls. Because so I was laughing because I was saying like when we started dating, obviously like I've journaled, but like I started writing just nice things you do for me just because I wanted that reminder that like your love language is acts of service, and sometimes like I just need that reminder of little things before I get in my own head. And I was looking at this list of stuff that you just deem as being normal everyday things that you've done from the beginning, whereas these men are just doing things that very much in a normal, you just wonder like if they weren't on camera, how bad would they be as partners? Because at the beginning they present themselves as really nice people, as just genuine people that want to get to know these women, that want to be in love, that want all these things that we all ask for. And then all of a sudden they start just being horrible or like doing things that just aren't nice. And then that makes me think, well, what are women accepting? Like that, it's a shame you've not seen the show because I feel like
Yeah, but isn't that notion of like grafting, as they say. Like I heard them talk about that on Love Island or whatever, where like you like essentially put in the work until you've got them, and then stop.
Yeah.
But like that's what a lot of them are probably thinking. But also,
Yeah.
I think some of it is on the people in the show. If they forget that they're on a show that's primarily about entertainment. Like, I feel like that should be at the forefront of their minds in that show.
Yeah,
like, this
that's
is
true.
not real life. Like, by virtue of the fact that there's a camera on them, they're
Yeah.
behaving differently.
Yeah.
So the guys might be behaving in a particular way, but they might be then different in real life as well. Like, not
Yeah,
necessarily
that's
for
true.
the worse, even
Yeah.
possibly for the better.
Yeah, that's
Because, like,
true.
if you're in a game, you're going to play the game
Yeah, it's very true.
because you want to win. So ultimately, they want to get the prize, which in this case happens to be a partner, and possibly then a career in the limelight after that. So it can't be genuine. Like, this is the thing that I think about it, is that regardless of what they all say, it can't really be totally genuine, because it's a show that's for entertainment. It's essentially a game. There's no monetary prize, right?
No.
But the prize is a partner and potentially like a career, like a social media, whatever.
Yeah.
So I just don't really buy it. I think the money they spend in that show, if they just got in some really good therapists and let them speak to all these people, they'd probably find somebody really nice anyway.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know, I just suppose that's also the difference between like how we see life, because I'd have definitely been the type of person that would have gone on something like Love is Blind.
Yes, you would.
I nearly went on what's that one with Fred?
Oh, First Dates.
Yeah,
That's a
First
good
Dates.
one.
I had like years ago before I met Sean, when they were doing First Dates Hotel, like the first series. I had an interview for that, and then I met Sean. So like I get where you're coming from, but I also think like I'm always in that mind of I'd be willing to try something really random to find love, and I'd like to think that I'm genuine. So there's going to be someone out there that is genuine, but I also now think maybe that's like the naive.
I don't think it's naive. I guess it's just hope, isn't it? Like, you hope just to meet somebody that you like and whatever, but I don't think it could ever work on a show like that. And I think if we really delved into the numbers and looked at like dating shows and their
The
success rate, they don't work, because
that's true.
it's just, as I said, by virtue of the fact that there's a camera there, people aren't being themselves.
Yeah.
So I just feel like it's never going to work. The ones that do get together and it works are the exception to the rule.
Yeah.
So I just feel very cynical about any show, like any dating show like that.
Yeah, that's
Because I
true.
feel like it just sets it up for people to get together under false pretenses. Because who's gonna really show their true self on TV anyway? Because it's going out to millions of
Yeah, if
people.
it's negative, yeah.
And like, we all have characteristics that we could work on and improve on, but you're
Yeah.
gonna hide those in TV.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think that's where it's even important to have a look at, because obviously people are watching that thinking maybe this is what a normal relationship looks like.
Nah, nobody really is going to watch that and think that this is what a normal
No,
relationship
but what I
looks
mean
like.
is in terms of how the men act. Like, they'll see that as being normal, and because, especially, like, I've been around people, like, I'm doing a series on TikTok now for some of the dates I went on. Like, you saw some of the messages. The guy that was talking about my hormones and, oh, I thought I'd leave you because what? I was being too emotional, just trying to ask, like, okay, make it clear, what is this?
Yeah.
But I think that's where, now, I now wonder, like, where do people go to find good role models in love, in life, in those types of things? Because I look at us, and like I was saying to you, I had a good foundation in my previous relationships. Like, fair enough, like with Simon, I got cheated on. With Sean, there were difficulties, but Sean did love me, and there were things in there that I thought had such a good foundation that I brought them into what I wanted out of this relationship, and that's just made this relationship better. But if I hadn't gone through that and I thought the negative things were normal, I'd just keep going in that cycle. Because you've even taught me things that, like I was saying, the fact that I've got this list of nice things that you do, and when I talk about it, everyone's like, what? Like, to me, you, like, the first time you showed up to the airport and you were inside the airport waiting, like, that was different. Like, the little things you do, like giving me decaf tea without even saying, like, 'cause you don't say half of these things. I find out by accident, but just so that I can sleep. Like, all these things that, again, are just normal day-to-day stuff. Like you've said, maybe like you weren't grafting to stop, but I'd never even use the word that you're grafting, because that's who you are day to day. But then that makes me think, like, again, like I'm saying, where are people supposed to?
But everybody must have some frame of reference in their personal life that they can draw on. And we've all got information at our fingertips. If push comes to shove, just type it into Google.
But that's the problem with social media, because social media is teaching, especially girls. Yes, there's obviously a lot of people will be like, that's not normal. But I can't tell you how many times I've been scrolling through TikTok. Some of like my like popular videos have been talking about like how I've seen dating after therapy and how much of a difference that's been. But I couldn't tell you how many times I've seen girls talking about, like there was one the other day that was basically saying she kept messaging this guy. He clearly wasn't interested, but any little bit of like attention he'd give her, she'd be like, oh, but he must be interested.
Yeah.
But when she showed you the messages, everyone was like, how could you not see that he wasn't bothered? Like he's not even starting conversations. He's not saying that he wants to meet you. And there's even one guy that went on and posted about how, oh, you should, like, these are the 4 things that you should be looking for when you're going on a date with a guy. He needs to ask you if you're still on, like, for that day. He needs to give you suggestions and options for what you can do. Like, just things that should be, like, not even the bare minimum. Like, he should ask you about how your day was. Like, to me, that's, surely, like, your partner should be your friend, and he's advising these people that, as a bare minimum for dating, this is what you should be looking for, whereas I'm going, that's not even a bare minimum.
Yeah. I guess, though, is that not just indicative of the fact that really to be successful in a relationship, you just need to start with yourself rather than worrying about with the other person? Like, a lot of people bring all their baggage, and like nobody really goes through life with like acquiring some sort of baggage, whatever that may be. But really, isn't it a case of you work on all that stuff and work on yourself before you can even then entertain allowing somebody else into your life?
Yeah, that's true.
Because if you're carrying all that baggage and you haven't worked on any of it, it's always then going to impinge upon that other person that you bring into that.
Yeah, that's true.
Whereas with like the both of us both haven't gone through therapy,
thank God,
like we can there's nothing that's really off the table in terms of conversation.
Yeah.
But it even teaches you what you allow and what your boundaries are and what you'll accept and what you expect and all that stuff.
That's true.
And once you acquire all those tools and information, then the rest can sort of look after itself in a way. Not that like you need to obviously keep working on it, but like it makes it a lot easier. And I think that's the issue, is that a lot of people are putting their hopes on this other person coming in to save their life. That's not how it works. And if that's your expectation, I think it's set up to fail, because the expectation then is far too high. Because nobody really can change your life other than yourself, or it has to at least start with yourself. So I think that's really a lot of it. And kind of maybe what I see from the periphery of all that sort of stuff is that people just don't do enough work on themselves, and they put a lot of expectation and weight onto the other person that they bring into their life.
Yeah, that's true.
Which just doesn't work. Like, I've done it myself. You know, you pin your emotions to somebody else's, and it just sets you up for failure.
Yeah, that's so true. That's a good point, because I was actually thinking, so the other week I was thinking, like, how did I get so lucky, like, in the situation that we're in and just where life is? And then I thought, actually, no. Like, I've worked so hard. I've put in so much work, and
it's not luck.
I had so many tears and whatever else. Like, going on my solo dates, like, I've had to spend time getting to know this new version of me, to know what I wanted. And then obviously go through that and the change and how it distances you from other people and all of that. So, yeah, it does take a lot of...
But even having the confidence to ask for what you want.
Yeah, that's
true. A lot
true.
of people in relationships don't ask for what they want.
Yeah.
For whatever reason.
But that also surprised me. Like, when we first started dating, you said something along the lines of, like, tell me what you want, and if I don't give it to you, then, like, basically you can sack me off. And it was just that straightforward. And I just remember being like, I've never had anyone just be like, well, like, I'm here to give you something as well. And that surprised me, but yeah, that's all new.
Okay, though.
Yeah, good. In a good, very good way. Right, we'll wrap it up. So, what's your win of the week?
My win of the week is just getting back into feeling a bit better and like reaching out to people.
Yeah.
Because it's just when you put it off and the number on your WhatsApp keeps going up, it just seems like something so daunting to go and just even send a message, just saying hello to someone.
That's true.
So that's my win of the week.
Nice, that's a good one. I did that the other week. Felt so good. What's my win of the week? My win of the week is how organised I've been. Like, I'm an organised person, but I made sure that I'd done a lot of the stuff I needed to do for, like, my clients for the month last week. So there's still bits to do now, but it means that, like, today I could have a day off. like this doesn't feel like work, but well, I'm like I've said, I'm gonna like be going for afternoon tea. I'm gonna be doing stuff this week that'll mean that I'm not working, but I'm not in a place to be stressed because I've done so much. Like I sat yesterday and did like the business's content for the month in like 2 hours. That used to take me ages. So I think it's just been nice to kind of look and go, clearly as time's moving on, as much as I am hard on myself sometimes, like there's a difference in what's happening and what I can see within the business and within myself and what I'm getting done. But it also, like I was saying to you the other day, it also helps. Like I used to be really scared and think, like, am I doing well in spite of my mental health and the situations I was in, or like how is that all working? And I just feel like I'm just in a really good place and really motivated, and because I've got the right people around me, it's just making a massive difference. So yeah, my win of the week's even just that realization.
It's good.
Which is good. Perfect. Well, thanks for joining me once again. Can't wait for the next one. Yeah, if you haven't liked, subscribe. If you don't already have it to automatically let you know when the new podcast is coming out. To be fair, it's normally on a Thursday around 9 o'clock. But yeah, turn all of that on. And yeah, thank you for supporting this. Like, it's been 3 months, which I can't believe. Like, this is now episode, I think, like 13-ish, 14, something like that. But yeah, it's going quickly, but I'm really enjoying it and I'm learning a lot. So thank you for being a part of that journey as well.
My pleasure.
Yeah. Well, I'll see you guys next week.